Once again, one political party, the Republican Party, has control over all three branches of the government: the executive, legislative, and judicial. What's different this time is the clear conservative majority in the judicial branch, solidified through key appointments during Trump's first term. This alignment of power is a significant moment, shaping policies and decisions that will affect us all in ways that we might not fully realize yet. Let's break it down to understand what this means and how it impacts our everyday lives. The president is the leader of the executive branch and has a lot of power to make things happen or stop them from happening. This can be good or bad depending on how it's used. For example, President Biden recently helped millions of people by signing executive actions to cancel or lower student loan debt. That's an example of the executive branch helping people. On the rated R side, during Trump's presidency, he signed an executive order banning people from several majority Muslim countries from coming into the US. A lot of people felt this was unfair and harmful, calling it a Muslim ban. So, in short, the president can make quick decisions that changes lives for better or worse. That's why it's important to pay attention to who's in that seat and what they're doing. Congress is made up of two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Both have different jobs, but they work together to pass laws and make decisions that affect all of us. Let's break that down. The House is often the starting point for new laws. Most bills begin in the House, where a representative or a group of representatives sponsors the bill. They present it to the rest of the House, and if enough members agree, they vote to pass it. One big example of this is the COVID-19 stimulus checks. During the pandemic, the House worked hard to push through that bill to get people financial relief. After they passed the bill, it moved on to the Senate for approval. Once a bill passes the House, it goes to the Senate. Senators review it, make changes if needed, and vote on whether to pass it. For the COVID-19 stimulus checks, the Senate also approved the bill, and that's how it finally became law. But the Senate doesn't just work on bills. They also confirm or reject the president's pick for important government positions like judges and cabinet members. This makes the Senate really powerful. For example, during Trump's first presidency, the Republican-controlled Senate confirmed Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court just weeks before the 2020 election. Her confirmation helped build the conservative majority that recently overturned affirmative action in college admissions. This shows how the Senate can shape policies that last for decades. When the COVID-19 relief bill was passed in both the House and the Senate, it went to President Trump for the final approval. At first, Trump opposed the checks, but Congress, especially the Democrats, kept pushing until the bill became law. Once the checks were sent out, Trump made sure his name was on them and even took credit for this idea. That's why some people call them Trump checks, a misconception that it was actually him pushing for the checks. But the truth is, Congress really made it happen, not him. This is a great example of how both the House and the Senate can stand up and make a difference even when the president doesn't agree. The judicial branch is all about judges and the courts, and their job is to make sure laws follow the Constitution. The Supreme Court is the highest court, and right now it's mostly made up of conservative judges. This has a big impact on how decisions are made. For example, just recently, the Supreme Court said colleges can't consider race when deciding who gets in. They called an end to affirmative action, and it's been a big deal because it changes how schools work towards being fair and diverse.
The U.S. Supreme Court today dealt a major blow to affirmative action in higher education, striking down race-conscious admissions programs at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina.
Some people think this decision will hurt students of color by making it harder for them to get into certain schools, and they're right. We've already seen this happen. One important thing to know is that federal judges, including Supreme Court justices, are appointed for life. For life. Once someone's put in that seat, they hold that position until they retire, resign, or pass away. This means their decisions can shape the country's laws and policies for decades, long after the president who appointed them is out of office. These lifetime appointments show how important the judicial branch is. Its influence can outlast elections and change our future. Here's the bottom line. Every branch of government, executive, legislative, and judicial, makes decisions that affect your rights, your freedom, and your future. It's not just about the people in power, it's about how we hold them accountable. When you see something on social media asking you to sign a petition or make a quick call to your rep, do it. These small 1 to 5 minute actions add up and lead to real change. Whether it's stopping a harmful policy or supporting something that can help your community, your voice matters. The truth is, these moments of engagement show our leaders that we're paying attention. The more we act, the more power we take back. We're all in this together, and the more we learn, the more we can do. So let's stay informed, stay engaged, and stay tuned, because you, the next generation, have the power to take action and shape the future for better.